Welcome to Sweet Tea Channeling. I'm Debbie Pokornik, and as always, with me is my partnerpreneur and our gifted channeler, Susan Hoskins. Today's episode is a sweet tea treat, where we take a nugget from a previous channeling and play with it in the stream of consciousness to see what new pictures might arise. We like to think of it as an incredible kaleidoscope, changing shape and color as we go. As we do this, we are raising our vibration, remembering parts of ourselves that we might have lost touch with, and perhaps most importantly, helping to create a reality right here, right now, that is filled with kindness, compassion, abundance, and delight, a place we refer to as Hoomadhi. We have already opened sacred space for all of us, but just want to remind you to take a moment to center, ground yourself, and then call in your own spirit guides to assist you in pulling out whatever is most relevant to you in this moment. All right, so the next nugget that I thought we would discuss is a little bit different for us. There are people who are hesitant to go to a heart space because they have been living in their mind space for so long as a way to survive and protect themselves. Extra love and compassion is the answer.
That makes my heart just feel good.
It does. And it also makes it feel bad
Okay.
because it makes me think of how often and how easy it is to see the other person as deliberately trying to hurt you when in fact all they're doing is trying to protect themselves.
Oh, I really like that because what's coming to mind is a doctor I encountered recently who was quite brilliant, as you have to be, quite brilliant. And you could tell, and the staff was rather afraid of him because he gave off this arrogant kind of like, I know it all, right?
Mm.
And so I did what we've talked about in other treats of just trying to soften and connect. And I noticed that the more I did so, the more he didn't seem to need to be quite so know-it-all or defensive, if you will. He softened. And I just saw little bits of it, little glimmers of it. And I'm so glad he knew everything he did. I'm not faulting that a bit. But I can tell you from experience when I did that, it sure made me feel better seeing something different in him.
Mm, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so there is another quote here that really ties with what you just said about the doctor even more. People who seem full of themselves are the very ones who need a heart connection the most because their greatest fear is to be seen as inadequate and therefore unlovable. I mean,
Wow.
that to me, it just brings up that whole fear of rejection, fear of others deciding that you just do not measure up. And it also breaks my heart a little bit as I think about that person as a child, perhaps, the things that might have happened in their life to make them think that there was something wrong with them. That, if they don't work really hard to be absolutely perfect at everything they do and to show other people how much they know, they are in danger of being left, not just left out, but actually ostracized, kicked out. And that just breaks my heart a little bit.
And it's so profound because in our culture, we've been taught that we're valued by what we do, what we know, how successful we are, rather than who we are. And so many people have taken that so to heart that they
Yes.
find something that they can excel at and be brilliant at. And so they're consumed with that because, God forbid, if you look beyond that, is there a lovable person that someone else will love?
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, isn't that it? It is just so true. And like I say, it really makes me stop and remember how important it is to recognize. I mean, we've all heard the saying, that's somebody's son or daughter or grandmother or whoever it is you're judging. That person is another person and they deserve to be loved by others. I'm just wondering if we don't want to go in and ask Christopher to just share a little bit more about that.
Let's do it.
Okay. Christopher, what more can you share with us about recognizing the maybe hurt child, the fear of being ostracized in that person, that very person who just seems to know it all and is trying to put us in our place?
Imagine a newborn baby coming into the world just so perfect, does not have to do or be anything except exactly who and what the baby is. In other words, pure love. And then imagine the same child as he or she starts to grow, absorbing the messages of others, well intended though they might be, that begin when they're so young about what they have to do in life or be in life or excel in life, and how they have to compete to be better than anyone else, simply to stay on the team of life, not just the team of sports. And so, how many spend their entire lives just trying to do better, be more, know more, express more, just to be so perfect? And all the while, what you don't realize is inside of them, a piece of them is dying because they're not able to express all the love and vulnerability and just beingness that they've come into the world to be and to experience and to show. Imagine how that feels. So what we would say is, when you encounter someone, and you will all the time, because so many of you are so conditioned to experience this life this way, and they come across as having to be better, having to be arrogant, having to put the show up. Just try to go deep within their own heart, connect heart to heart, soul to soul, just to imagine yourself holding them as the precious newborn baby that they were when they first came onto your planet. This is what we would like you to consider today.
Mm, thank you. Oh, it
Mm.
just breaks my heart even more.
I know, me too.
When I talk about having my heart broken, it's not, it's not breaking my heart.
Right.
I feel it deeply in my heart. I recognize the hurt. And that to me is tying it back into all these little nuggets that we've been talking about lately. That whole idea that I can feel that hurt in them because it is the same hurt in me. And it
Right.
doesn't mean we have the same exact experience or anything like that. It's just that we can all relate. And when we look deeply enough, we can all heal it together. I,
Yeah,
mm,
I love that, because it is our shared humanity. This is how we've grown up. And, people compensate in so many different ways. Some by getting a hold of what they're so good at and making sure everybody knows it so they'll be accepted. And then others who just throw their hands up and go, I'm not good enough,
mm,
no matter what I do. And that hurts my heart too.
oh,
So,
absolutely. And we could get into all the many things I think that we've actually gotten wrong when we think about how we raise our kids and how we were raised and just how our whole world is. Or we can
mhm,
focus on Hoomadhi, the new reality that
exactly.
we are creating right here, right now.
Yes, and I love that. And in everyday life, when we encounter someone that we go, I know this, I know this. I wonder what a difference we can make if we pause and just see them as that baby and just connect heart to heart.
Yeah.
I'm even imagining myself now as the baby, connecting with them as the baby. How cool is that?
You tend to be a step ahead of many of us.
I don't know about that, but I'm going to put that in practice. And I wonder if we don't have the power to help heal that wounded child every time we do that, both within us and within another.
Absolutely. So when we feel that, rather than turning away from whatever it is that feels like it's hurting our heart, when we just go right into it and open our heart up even more, it feels like we're able to take it in and heal it or hug it, and then put it back out in a whole different energy. Yeah,
Like that.
nice. Ready to join us live on these calls? Send us an email at info.hoomadhi, that's HOOMADHI @gmail.com. We'd love to have you play with us.